So the topic is, why is it necessary to talk about caring masculinities in early childhood education? I'd like to present you 4 points of 4 things which are the following. I want to speak about gender inequality in unpaid and paid care work. We had some figures already. I'd just like to repeat some of them or look at some more details. I want to speak about the importance of care. Ellie showed already the figure we are using to define caring masculinities. And I only have one theory, which is the occupational maps from Linda S. Gottfriedson, which kind of, for me, explains why it is important to talk as early as possible about caring masculinities. And last but not least, the project Boys in Care and ECaRoM. And I hope I will manage so that we can go in time for a coffee break in like 20 minutes. So I'll start, I changed the presentation a bit. I will start with the importance of care. Ellie spoke about Carla Elliott already. I'm quoting here Joan Tronto, which says, on the most general level, we suggest that caring be viewed as a species activity that includes everything that we do, maintain, continue, and repair our world so that we can live in it as well as possible. That world includes our bodies, ourselves, and our environment, all of which we seek to interweave in a complex life-sustaining web. And I really like this definition of Joan Tronto because it's larger. It's not only care for oneself, it's not only care for another, it's care for everything. And I think this is a very crucial issue in terms of caring masculinity as well, that it's not about oneself or the other, it's about everything. To make it a little bigger, you know. But I'm joking, but it's really serious. As she said, it's about bodies, ourselves, and the life-sustaining web. And we somehow tried to put this large-scale definition in this graphic of caring masculinities. It had little different colors than the one Ellie presented, but it's the same content. And I explicitly want to stress these points: rejection of violence and care for gender equality and justice. Because care itself doesn't mean that it promotes gender equality. Through care, dominance can be reproduced too. Care actually fits, in some cases, good to masculinity in terms of patronizing. So I'm knowing what is better for you than you know yourself. So in this concept, it's really important that we stress it, that it's implementing gender equality and gender justice. And empathy is there, which I like a lot, because the emotional side, if we're looking on boys growing up, then the emotional side is developed, but through gender and masculinity, it shrinks. You know, the expression of boys and men, they're getting, let's say, not so big anymore. You know, I like this when I do my trainings, usually how femininity is connected to how you look and how you listen. It's active listening is connected with femininity. And if boys or men listen, it's usually like that. So this is being learned from early on. And this, how to approach the emotions, etc., is learned from early on. So we thought in our project, it's important to start as early as possible. And I added here 2 points, which I really found important too, is the visibility and the value. Care is happening everywhere. It's happening now. Persons are preparing our coffee break, for example. Persons are cleaning. It's happening now. Persons are caring in kindergartens for our kids. It's happening all the time, but it's not really visible. in terms of the mainstream visibility of care is not as it should be in my eyes. And connected with it, the value, because not only the pandemic showed that care is an essential value for the running of our society and ourselves, because if we don't care for ourselves, then life would be kind of not possible. This is like the concept we're used and try to incorporate in our pedagogy and our research. So why is it necessary to talk about caring masculinity in early childhood education? Because care is a main value and care is needed to be learned from early on, especially from men. If we look at the figures, who does care? We heard it already. Here's another figure from the Eurostat. It's seen here, shown here, the participation time per day in households and family care by gender in hours and minutes. It's from 2015. And you can see in the blue lines that it's women averagely mainly do more time in households for caring activities. For example, in Germany, it's like per day 2.5 hours men doing household chores and women leave 4 hours. And we have the same pattern repeating in all countries. So unpaid care work is in family contexts mainly done by women. We have the same pattern if we look at paid care work, and paid care work is jobs, occupations. That's the next figure, quoted here from Eurostat as well. It's fields of study, and in which field are men and women mainly. And you can see business administration and law, it's 10.4 and 14.4% women. If you look at engineering, strange, it's more men doing engineering. And health and welfare, it's more women doing health and welfare, and you have the same in education. So we see care is mainly done in unpaid and a paid way by women. And if we especially look at childcare pedagogues, which is one of the target group of our project, it's even more striking. It's here shown childcare workers and teachers' aides in the European Union in 2020. And you see, strange, 39% of the childcare workers are women. I mean, that's kind of striking, you know, comparing to the whole European Union. I mean, Germany is a little better, you know, in Germany we have 9% in Berlin. But I mean, it must be striking, no? Why is it that so many women work in childcare and none of the men? And usually it's, you can see it, that the more handy, the more direct the care activities are, the little men you can find there, the less. Yeah, and you can see the pattern here. And as I said before, care is an important value for each one of us as well as for society, and it should not be connected to gender. And now, again, coming back to the question, why is it necessary to talk about caring masculinities in early childhood education? I want to show you this little figure I made, referring to the theory of Linda S. Gottfriedson. And this theory is about how we choose professions and how does it come, or what influences our occupational maps. Occupational maps meaning that at the beginning of your life, you have like a lot of possibilities at the age of 0, what you're going to work. Like this is like possible job aspirations are it's a lot. Like, I guess not all the job aspirations, but many. Then if you grow up, these job possible job aspirations, they shrink from many to few. And this process is connected to socialization, to growing up. So what makes these possibilities shrink is, first of all, 3 to 5, the development of a gender identity, and looking, okay, people are doing jobs actually. So like and the question is, what is seen as job? You know, if I usually speak with young people, then like a social worker is not really concerned to be a job. It's somebody who's around you, but it's not a profession. Like a truck driver is more a job, or a fireman or policeman. You know, but you know, that is in my adult mind. But as a kid, you just see, okay, there's people doing jobs, and then later on you kind of deselect your possible occupations by your gender identity. So it's not a conscious process, it's a subconscious process that is running, that you're looking, okay, who's the fireman and who's the policeman, and what is my gender identity? So there's a deselection process already running, which is not conscious. And it goes on, this deselection process, with the coherence to a social background. So does the possible job fit to your family resources? Is this academic, non-academic, or what values are in your family? And then only by the end of 14 years, you choose consciously from this shrinked map your possible job aspiration. So there's a lot of processing, deselection process before you even choose a job. And that's why it's important to start as early as possible to give diverse pictures of, for example, job professions, to show men in caring professions as well. I would say this you could like transfer to care and activities too. So what activities are connected to my gender, and what activities can I do? You will learn through this process. And what we found out in Germany, and I think it's in other countries too, that the gender pressure is much higher in primary school in comparison to kindergarten. And I would say that care is even less accepted by boys and men in primary school than in kindergarten. And so it goes on and on and on. So it's important to talk as early as possible about caring masculinities. And we did it. Here you go. That was the first project we're doing. We were doing it's Boys in Care, strengthening boys to pursue care occupations. It was from 2017 to 2019, and we did had the focus on boys above the age of 10. And we were trying to support creating supportive environments for boys to pursue care careers, challenging the cultural description of care work, and fostering caring masculinities. And we were, as I said, working with the boys above 10 years. And in ECaRoM, we're working with boys and young people below 10 years. The good thing is about the Boys in Care project, it's finished. And we did good work. For example, this brochure you can find here on the conference, and you can find online. It's for pedagogues working with boys in English and national languages, focusing on methods and the knowledge behind the methods, how to teach caring masculinities. So that was what we did in 2017. And we realized then that already in the age of 12, gender stereotypes are already been set. So they're kind of not fixed, but they are more solid. And it would be good to start as early as possible to work on caring masculinities. And so we did. The next project was luckily funded as well, Early Care and the Role of Man. That's our final conference here, and it's like, I would say, a celebration as well, because the 2 years we worked well together, and I really enjoyed this working together with all of you. And the focus of this ECaRoM project was to overcome gender stereotypes in early childhood and primary education through mainstream values benefit of caring masculinities for society as whole. And as I said, here is the primary target group is, well, actually it's pedagogical staff. We did further trainings, etc. But then we wanted to reach with educating pedagogical staff, the boys below 10 years. And what did we do in this project? We first of all did some research in every country. We did analyze the state of the art of gender sensitive pedagogy and legislation. We will hear more about that after the coffee break. I'm very happy that we have some insights, and we did a transnational report. So first research, then the second thing is we did develop educational material like the song we just heard, and I hope it's still stuck in your mind. Perhaps we sing it at the end again. I like it very much, and we'll see some more material before lunch break, and it's online too. So if you're online, please check out our website, ECaRoM.eu. It's already online. It's and Rosa will present some more of it later on. That was the second step. The third step is like further education capacity building training with pedagogues, working directly with pedagogues and trying to teach them about caring masculinities. And fourth was to develop another manual. So the manual I just showed, we have for children below 10 years as well. And we're going to have a digital self-learning platform. And we will hear about that later too. And I'm very happy that we're kind of living the European idea here, because we are working with 6 different countries together. Sometimes it's challenging, but in most cases it's just wonderful. And I'm very happy that we have so many different perspectives from Germany, Austria, Bulgaria, Slovenia, Italy, and Lithuania. And Monica already said who's working for us. And last but not least, I'd like to quote from their study in Germany, an educator, and I like the quotation a lot. The educator said, "We have to talk about what is not visible, the ways that boys don't go in terms of care because they learn very early that is unmanly. We don't see them because the boys don't go. We can only get there if we make them a variety of offers, and the mental permission is there to be a caring ballet dancer." So it's not only about creating the material and sharing that with the people, it's your own mental state as well, your attitude towards gender equality and caring masculinities. And with that quotation, I'm thanking you for your attention, and question answers later.